Blasto. I made that other PlayStation All Stars roster one of round two. Yeah, I'm about to make the rival one, my own version. Yeah, but I think I left out a few characters, so to help you guys make sure it's all clear, I put Trevor 79, Kratos' son, boy, or Atreus 78, and 77 Spider-Man, and 76 Delsumro. Yep, these are all the new characters. So let the battle begin of the rivals. Okay, I'll stop with the Pro Man voice. Number one, Kratos versus Scorpion. Again, these two are like angry, raging men. Plus, these two met before in Mortal Kombat, so it'd be pretty cool if these two reference it. Come on, it'd be cool. Come on. And number two, Crash Bandicoot versus Spyro. I know these two are owned by Xbox, but to be fair, Big Daddy was an Xbox game exclusive, so these two are not out of the question. So if they might come in PlayStation All Stars, these two have to be a rival for the PS1 fans. Anyway, for number three, Blasto versus Captain Quark. These two, definitely. There would just be, come on, it'll be a funny reference of these two just making fun of each other. I want to see it happen personally, so yeah. And number four, Gex versus Bugsy. Again, these two are, wisecracking mascots, and they're both funny, and they both have their own jokes online. So yeah, I would love to see these two battle if they would be in PlayStation All Stars. And number five, Nathan Drake versus old Lara Croft. Again, two treasure hunters with guns. And I think like the new Lara Croft is too similar to Nathan Drake, so I might use the old one. So it'll be more cool to see it happen. Just saying. I'm sorry, you Lara Croft fans. And number six, Parappa Rapper versus Tag. Again, these two look a little hip hoppy ish, and yet again, they would make good rivals of high speed and rapper rapping. Plus, these two are cute. So, and number seven, Ezio versus Sly Cooper. Again, if the way it will play out, Sly Cooper might steal Ezio's tablet globe thing. Tell me, Assassin's Creed fans, because I forgot what it is. Yeah, Sly Cooper might try to steal Ezio's globe, and of course Ezio won't allow it. That would be a cool rivalship if it did happen. And of course, number eight, Cloud versus Dart. These two, of course, are sword wielding warriors with the weapons ability. It'll be really cool to see, definitely. And plus they have like really cool hairstyles going on. So yeah, definitely. And number nine, Solid Snake versus Gabe and Logan. Again, these two are like sneaky military soldiers. I think just sneaky characters. They would use like their own weapons, guns, and abilities to sneak out and take down the enemies. So yeah, I would definitely picture them as rivals. And plus, these two were like in the PS1 game, so yeah, definitely. And number 10, Lee and Lag versus Joe and Elliot. Again, Joe and Elliot would think of these twos as new abomination monsters, and that would start off the fight. Yeah. And 11, 5 versus Lamy. Again, these two like have music. They use music to help out people and practice it. So yeah, definitely. Number 12, Cat versus Rayman. These two, especially, I think they would be different towards each other, but Cat would just use gravity, and Rayman would just use his fist, and he probably just use like his hair as a helicopter, fly for flight. So yet again, these two would make good rivals, as you know, they have somewhat of magic abilities. Rayman has like crazy abilities like Cat, so that's what I would picture it. That's like my guess. I'm sorry. And number 30, Coco Bandicoot versus Aloy, of course. Again, these two, help the protagonists of their own game, both smart, intelligent, and could definitely hold their own in the battlefield. So yeah, definitely, that's like the only relation connections of these two. And number 14, Raziel versus an auto card. Again, Raziel will think of IO card. He would think of IO card as a new, vampire that comes to, kill him. But of course, Raziel would not allow that, so he would attack him before he attacks him. So yeah. And number 15, Shadow versus Konoha. Now, of course, Shadow would try to use his Chaos Emerald, but Konoha thinks of it as a, emerald that he needs importantly, so he would try to take it. Of course, Shadow won't allow it. That's what the fight, mostly broke out. And 16, Dante versus Jersey Devil. Again, Dante is a demon hunter, so he will think of Jersey Devil as an easy target to take down. But of course, Jersey Devil won't allow it. That's what the fight will break out. And number 17, Ryu versus Jin Kazooie. Again, these two are very experienced fighters, fighting each enemy without breaking a sweat. Of course, these two have that, horrible forms like Evil Ryu, and of course, Jin, the Devil Jin. And that's of course how the fight will break out. And number 18, Chun-Li versus Tiff. Now, of course, these two are very experienced fighter women, of course. They fight enemies all the time, and of course they will. And they're also experienced fighters. So again, that's how connections these two have. And number 19, Isaac Clarke versus Abe. Of course, Isaac Clarke will think of Abe as a monster, as you see in the Dead Space universe, as a necromorphers. Yeah, so that's what Isaac Clarke will. His PTSD of Isaac Clarke would kick in, and he would try to kill Abe, of course. But Abe would, won't allow it. So number 20, Ahachi Mishima versus Akuma. Of course, experienced fighters, deadly, very deadly, without giving any enemy no mercy. Of course, they're very, skilled, and it would be pretty cool if they referenced, the same game they were in Tekken 7. That's how Akuma appeared. Yeah. Still, it'll be really, really cool. Number 21, Quark versus Tumba. Now, of course, Tumba will think of Quark as a delicious food, but of course, Quark won't allow it. So yeah. Number 22, and number 22, Armak. I think that's how you spell his name. Versus Nenko. These two deadly, warriors with swords, of course. That's the connections. And 23, Tor versus Sackboy. Again, these two are like, very imaginary, things that always try to help people, or, make new things, nor explore. That's the connections these two have. And number 24, Ratchet and Clank versus Jack and Daxter. Again, these two are like duos, so yeah. And plus they fight, space monsters and save the universe and galaxy. So yeah, definitely. 25, Knack versus Spike. These two, work for their friends to help save the world. Those are the two connections. And of course, Spike would think of Knack as a new robot monster made by his enemy. But of course, Knack would, try to knock some sense out of him. And 26, Rivet versus Uber Hero. Two, warriors try to help and save the world. Those are the only two connections. But I guess maybe like Uber Hero he protects his pride, again his crew, and Vivid, of course, protects her. She protects her robot. Only two connections. I'm not sure. Sorry. And number 27, Ra versus Sir Daniel. Again, these two warrior men with swords. Of course, Ra would think of Sir Daniel as an undead monster, and he will try to kill him. But of course, he won't. Sir Daniel will allow it. 28, Radic versus the Claw. Guess that's how you spell their names. I don't know. And of course, Radic would, try to kill this zombie steroided Sarak alien species. Again, these two are very similar, but the only difference is that Radix and the Hellgas military are like very normal, unlike Sigma species. They're like zombie steroids that try to eat you. And 29, Cole versus Emmett Graves. Again, Cole would think of, Emmett as a conduit, and that's where the fight begins. And 30, Alloy versus Astrobot. Again, Alloy would try to think of Astro Bot as a weird bot she needs to get. But again, Astro Boy would try to refuse. I don't know how the fight would begin. And number 31, Spider-Man versus Desmond Rowe. Spider-Man would think of Desmond Rowe as a kid trying to figure out his powers. Again, Desmond Rowe, on the other hand, he would think of Spider-Man as a conduit. That's what the fight would begin. And number 52, Fat Princess versus Epic Megafig. Again, this thing would think of Fat Princess's cake as a monster, and he would, or she, I don't know, he would destroy Fat Princess's cake, and that's what the fight would begin. 33, these Concept John versus the Hunter. These two have magic, some have an end, and they also fight monsters, so that's the only connections. And 34, Atreus versus Wonder, Shadow of Colossus. These two very good with a bow and arrow, and fight way great, enemies. That's the only connection. And 35, and number 35, Radic. No. I meant Raiden versus Jim Suki. These two are very katana wielding, characters. They're both very honorable against fighting, or helping, their own people. Again, Raiden is a cyborg ninja, and the other hand, Suki is a samurai. So, yeah, that's what the fight will break out. And 36, Sweet Tooth versus Trevor. two psychopathic men, and that's how the fight will mostly continue of them trying to kill each other. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and see you tomorrow. Thank you guys, and it's good to be back on YouTube. Have a good day. Bye bye.